Hi, friends. Before we dive into this week's episode, I want to share with you about my signature course, She Sells Wholesale. I know so many of you guys ask questions about how do you get started with wholesaling because it can be complicated. I know because I have been there. And when I first started wholesaling my candles with my candle company, Heart Design Co., I failed miserably for several months, but I hit month 3 and I had my candles in over 120 retailers. So I am sharing with you my exact framework inside my signature course, She Sells Wholesale, and you can jump on the wait list at shesellswholesale.com. I only open up the course twice a year. So you want to make sure that you get on the wait list so you know when the course opens up, and it's opening soon. I will actually send you a free gift when you sign up on the wait list. So check it out at shesellswholesale.com. That's shesellswholesale.com. Most people think packaging is all about having a pretty label or a cute logo. But what if I told you that there are 5 deeper signals that tell your customers whether you're running a brand or just a side hustle? Stay tuned until the end because I'll share the packaging secret that pros use that you can copy for free starting today. In working with product-based business owners, I have seen so many great products undersell simply because your packaging whispers homemade and DIY instead of screaming, buy me. Your packaging should be selling for you. And the difference is rarely about money. It's about psychology and perception. So let's upgrade how people see your brand. My name is Andee Hart, and if you're new here, welcome. I help product-based business owners sell with confidence and clarity without feeling salesy. And here's something you may not realize. Over 70% of purchase decisions are made at the shelf. That means that your packaging is your silent salesperson. It does the work before you ever get a chance to. But when packaging feels flimsy or cluttered or confusing, it kills trust with your brand before your customer even touches your product. So this episode is for you if you're tired of blending in with the Etsy crowd and you want to step into wholesaling your products to boutiques. And these 5 signs will give you a sharper eye for your own packaging. And I am going to give you easy fixes that you can start implementing today. Hi, friends. Welcome to She Sells Differently, the show for aspiring women entrepreneurs looking to overcome the fear of selling and grow thriving businesses from a place of authenticity and confidence. I'm Andee Hart, and it wasn't all that long ago that I was a sales executive for a Fortune 500 company. But I knew in my heart that I was called to use my gifts for something more, something different. That's exactly why I created the She Sells Differently podcast. Each episode is going to deliver you business strategies, tools, and mindset shifts to help set you and your brand apart from our culture's expectations. It's time to elevate your sales and build a profitable, sustainable business you're proud of, one built on integrity, grace, and humility. It's time to learn how to sell differently. So let's jump into it. The first sign, it's an overlooked link between packaging durability and brand trust. Now, this may be something that you haven't thought about before. But when a box dents in someone's bag, or maybe a label peels off before the product is even used, it actually sends a subconscious signal that your brand doesn't care about quality. So I want you to think about a candle in a thin cardboard box versus one in a sturdy, protective container. One feels like an investment. The other one feels risky, cheap. So here's your fix. Spend the extra little bit to upgrade to thicker cardstock, rigid containers, or protective inserts. The durability actually equals dependability. Here's an actual story that happened to me. If you've listened to the podcast for any length of time, I've shared this before. But one of my dream retailers that I was pitching when I first started wholesaling gave me really helpful feedback. I never got my products into this retailer, but it actually changed the course of Hart Design Co., my candle company, for the better. And I am forever grateful. And it has everything to do with this concept about product packaging. Their feedback to me and why they did not invest in my products is because my gift label on my candles felt cheap. It was cheap and it was thin. And they gave me the ever so valuable advice to upgrade that to a laminated thick cardstock. And I did just that. It cost me a little bit extra per candle, but because of that, it upgraded and elevated my brand. And it has made all of the difference that my candles now feel like an investment instead of looking cheap and homemade. I'm forever grateful for that feedback because it completely changed the game for my product packaging, upgraded it from homemade DIY to actually look like it deserved a spot on retailers' shelves. Number 2, how your unboxing experience psychology actually influences repeat purchases more than logos do. So let's think about this for a minute. Customers don't always remember your brand logo, but they will absolutely remember how it felt to open your product. This is why Apple spends so much time perfecting the slow reveal of their boxes. It's an experience to open an Apple product. Compare that to tearing into a taped up brown mailer. The second one feels disposable. The first one feels intentional and on purpose. It's an experience. So here's how you fix that. Add one simple detail. It could be tissue wrap, a branded sticker, or a handwritten thank you note. You don't have to spend a lot here. Just make the moment feel like a gift, not a transaction. Sign number 3 that your product packaging is still screaming homemade is that your typography or your font on your packaging is still looking DIY. And by that, I mean that you're still using Comic Sans or those hard to read scripts that you often see at crafts fairs. Eek. Yes. So I want you to think about those clean, minimalist fonts. Those immediately signal boutique, premium, and intentionality. Imagine a high-end skincare line versus a handmade soap using a messy cursive font. You feel the difference immediately. Here is a best practice in how you can fix this. Stick to no more than 2 fonts on your packaging and make sure that your label text is easily read from 3 feet away. Because when your customers walk by your product on a retailer shelf, and if they have to squint to read it, then they're going to walk right on past your products in real life. So no more than 2 fonts, and make sure your label text is easily read from 3 feet away so customers can see your product and read it. Moving on to sign number 4, this is something that maybe you have never thought about, but shelf placement height changes what works in packaging design. This is actually wild and crazy, but it's so true. The height of where your product sits on a retailer's shelf changes what kind of design works. So eye-level products often rely on polish and subtlety, but lower shelf products usually need bold fonts or brighter colors to grab attention. So think about cereal. Kids' cereal lives at eye level with mascots and neon colors. Premium wine, on the other hand, usually sits at adult eye level with minimalist and elegant designs. So think about where your product usually lives and where your retailer is normally placing your product. Is it eye level? Is it top or bottom? And design your packaging accordingly, because visibility is everything. And last but certainly not least, professionals, when they are designing labels, they obsess over negative space. And we often don't think about this because we want to fill all of the space on our labels, but negative space is often more important than any kind of flashy graphics. And clutter is the fastest way to look unprofessional. So professionals often use white space because it communicates confidence. The same way that when you're speaking and silence can communicate confidence as well. So if you walk past luxury chocolate bars, they're often super simple. They maybe have a logo, a flavor, and a whole lot of breathing room. So compare that to homemade fudge wrapped in labels covered with 5 fonts, clip art, and too much text. So here is how you fix this. Remove one thing from your packaging. If everything is bold, then remember nothing is standing out. So give your design space to breathe, and it will suddenly start to look much more elevated and confident. So I hope that these 5 tips were helpful for you to get the wheels turning for how you can elevate your product packaging. It's so important because our packaging sells when we cannot be there in person to sell for our products themselves. And remember, packaging is just one piece of how your business shows up. And if you're ready for ongoing support, strategies, and ideas that help your brand sell itself, I would love to invite you to join the Product Marketing Bank. I have exciting things coming inside the bank. It's where I give you monthly deposits of proven marketing strategies you can cash in on for your product-based business. And you'll stop guessing, you'll start selling, and you will feel supported every step of the way. And here is that free trick I promised at the beginning of the episode. Before you finalize your product packaging, I want you to shrink your design down to the size of a postage stamp on your computer screen. Now, stay with me here because this is something that I do, and it's so important, and it gives me clarity and a good rule of thumb if my packaging is clear for my customers. Shrink it down to the size of a postage stamp on your computer screen. And if it's clear, if it's balanced, and if it's legible, then you're gold. But if it still looks cluttered or unreadable, then your customers are going to feel that confusion in real life. And so this is a simple test that you can do, and it doesn't cost anything. So I hope that that is helpful for you when you're designing your product packaging or maybe giving it a refresh. And if this was helpful or if you learned something new, then share this episode with a fellow product maker. Give it a like, a rate, and a review. And I will be back next Wednesday with another episode of the She Sells Differently podcast. Until then, I am cheering you on. All right, that's a wrap on today's episode of She Sells Differently. Friends, it would be a huge blessing to me if you would take 2 seconds to rate and subscribe to my podcast. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Until then, I'm cheering you on in your entrepreneurial journey. See you next time.